back to Outer Wilds. We're gonna explore more of Giant's Deep. We have a lot of stuff going on other worlds. In the midst of discovering many things, no doubt, but Giant's Deep is the planet we've spent the least amount of time on. So I want to check out some more of it. Maybe this time we don't end up shot into space immediately, but I can't promise that. Alright. Let's orient ourselves. It seems like every bit of land on this planet at some point is going to get swept up by one of these cyclones. I don't know if there's anything beneath the surface. Doesn't really seem like it. That's unusual. Fair enough. Well, we're only 62 meters away. Just trying to get used to using the signal scope a little bit more. Nice, it's you. Good to see you made it here in one piece. The first solo launch is a doozy, isn't it? So hey, don't freak out or anything, but lately I keep, like, dying repeatedly. I don't know, it's pretty weird. Okay, good. So we're not the only person who's experiencing Groundhog's Day. What about you? Have you died lately, or is it just me? No, it's us too. We're in a time loop. Time has been behaving unusually lately. Yeah, a time loop makes sense. Cool. So, what did you think it was? I figured it'd be some kind of fidgety time business, but I wasn't really thinking about what's happening to the shape of time, you know? But a loop makes sense. Here, let's go with a loop for now. Let's go with a loop for now. It looks like you and I are the only ones who can tell that time's gone all weird. I tried really... Oh no! Are we safe? Are we safe? Yeah, we're safe-esque. Except that we're, like, literally in space. Yeah, we are in space, and because of that, we can't talk to him anymore? Oh man. Well, that's bad timing. We're gonna land, though. Are we gonna get crushed? Oh no, look at that. Okay, so we survived the fall back to the planet. Very nice, and I guess we'll just resume. Have you ever watched a cyclone for so long it started to hypnotize you? I'm telling you, they'll put you in a trance if you stare at them long enough. So now we're no longer talking about how we're in this time loop, I guess. What did we find? Nothing. We found nothing for him. What else? Well, what are any of us doing here, really? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm out here exploring the solar system, same as you. But I'll tell you what, outer space really gives you room to think. It's quiet and peaceful out here. I mean, it's usually quiet and peaceful. Sometimes a cyclone comes by and lifts up my little island paradise clean out of the water, then less peaceful. Where should we explore here? Because we haven't found much other land. Here's something you might like. At the start of every time loop, I keep seeing a bright flash in the sky at the start of every loop. Something must be happening up here in orbit around the planet. Yeah, we see that as well. What else? What else? Have you been to Statue Island? That's what I've been calling it, seeing as it's the island where I found the glowing Nomai statue. Get it? No, we have not been to Statue Island. I was on the beach at Statue Island when the whole glowy business happened, by the way. It's a nice beach for that kind of thing. I give it a solid 7 out of 10 on the Gabbro relaxation scale. If you feel like checking out Statue Island, it's the one with 2 islands connected by a natural rock arch. Well, mostly connected anyway. You'll see. Alright. Where's your ship? Is it in space? That's a good question. It's definitely on this planet somewhere. I mean, unless a cyclone came by and tossed it into space, I guess. That would be pretty nuts. I hope it's not lonely. I like Gabbro. And so, there's an island somewhere. 2 islands connected by a rock arch. And we could find a statue there. That'd be cool. Didn't see anything like that. Maybe it's in space already, but... we can definitely see what we can see. This is just one island. We can't land inside of this thing, I don't think, or can we? I think we've been here before, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to repair, if we could. Yeah, fairly certain that we've been here. This is it. We finished building the final orbital probe cannon module and are ready to send it into orbit around Giant's Deep for assembly. Orbital probe cannon. Maybe we have not read this. Okay, orbital probe cannon. Our next step will be to send Privet up to the orbital probe cannon to install the probe tracking system. To all my friends here at the construction yard, my gratitude for your tireless work. I had given up hope, but I truly believe this cannon may actually succeed where many other attempts have not. If it's the thing we see get destroyed every time we wake up, it doesn't succeed. Daz, if I know my brother, Evans, and his spouse will want to launch the probe with as much power as possible, I'm worried the cannon would break under the strain. What's this one up here? Are you going gelatinous on us, love? I'm delighted by your words, but they're atypical for you. What was the last thing that had been said? Okay, giving gratitude. Because they're not emotional creatures, because they're robots? Is that what we're getting at? No. If I'm ever half as gooey as Mallow and Evans behave together, Daz, you may launch me from the orbital probe. Okay. And down here, I propose we give Evans and Mallow a slightly lower maximum power setting than the absolute maximum possible to create room for their enthusiasm. Alright, so the orbital probe cannon, I think that must be the thing that we see get destroyed in the atmosphere of Giant's Deep. And then something shoots out of it, and I try to kind of visually follow it. We'll have to pay more attention to see where it goes. Ooh, that's right. We have a lot of gravity here, so I'm not going to be able to skip across this, but I wonder if we could swim over there. Wonder if that would be possible. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, okay. Well, that's marvelous. That's actually marvelous. "9 minutes, 33 seconds ago, long-range probe successfully launched from the orbital probe cannon." 9 minutes and 33 seconds ago. Okay. And I think we're in space, or soon to be in space, but, yeah, let's see. Let's see. 9 minutes, 33 seconds ago, long-range probe successfully launched from the orbital probe cannon. 9 minutes and 33 seconds ago. Okay. And I think we're in space, or soon to be in space, but, yeah, let's see. 9 minutes and 33 seconds ago, long-range probe successfully launched from the orbital probe cannon. 9 minutes and 33 seconds ago. Okay. we'll just hang tight here. We'll just hang tight. We'll try our best not to float off because I think we're going to crash back down. And as long as we kind of stay put, we survived before. I think we can survive again. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Oh. While this was up in the air, this was like lit up completely. What is this? A troll module. We've encountered one of these before. This is letting us see someplace else, right? I mean, we found that one before and I couldn't really figure out what we needed to do with it either. It shows us a different place. So weird. What I'm kind of waiting for is if we get picked up again, I want to see if this lights up, and if so, if we can get into it? Do anything with it in any way? In the meantime, maybe we could take a look over here. Whoa. Brittle Hollow projection stone. What is pulling on us here? We're getting some pull from maybe these panels, I guess? Is there gravity panels? Oh, there's unwanted gravity. Yeah, here we go again. Maybe I just can't get up over here. Maybe I should just walk up this, jump off the side, right? That worked a lot better. Alright, let's see where this one takes us. Yeah, see, I see cyclones here, too. Why would we see that? It's definitely not a place we've seen before. Oh, look at this. Kanai, Daz, and I were lifting orbital probe cannon components into orbit for assembly, and one somehow sank down beneath the current. Sava commits me not to try to recreate the phenomena myself using other cannon parts, but we're very curious to know what happened. How could something pass through the current? Kanai, you should have seen it. We thought it was impossible for any cannon components to sink even partially below the current, but ours sank straight to the core. Kanoi, my gratitude for your interesting question. This is exciting. Spire constructed a model of Giant's Deep here at Brittle Hollow's Southern Observatory, and it reveals how an object might sink below the current. Kanoi, I'm unable to grasp the answer by looking through the projection pool. If I visit the observatory, would you kindly explain? If you don't mind the trek beneath the surface to the South Pole, I'd be delighted to see you. The trailhead starts at Brittle Hollow's equator, so we've been to the observatory. But maybe there's a part of it that's unexplored? And then this is the one we've already read, right? Or no? I have bad news, Evans. Yarrow says there was a problem with the proposed power source, so the orbital probe cannon won't be asked to fire. I hope you're pulling my locomotive limb here, Sava. I wish I were, my friend, but no. They aren't certain they can fix the problem, so the orbital probe cannon is on definite hiatus. Tell Privet and Mallow they should return from the cannon. My spouse and I will remain at the construction yard for now. An update. Mallow and I will join you and Daz. Privet left to visit her brother. She fears Idea may feel responsible. Another ship log update. We have 3 minutes of oxygen remaining. We haven't been lifted back off into space yet. And it seems like that event might be random. But we did see this light up. It was a solid pillar of purple. And I wonder what would happen if we got into it when it was like that. So disorienting sometimes, but so incredibly fun. Let's see here. And these two, I wonder, these must have lit up as well. And that's really all there is here besides free oxygen. But this wasn't the place that our fellow astronaut was telling us about, I don't believe. And this must be a model replica of the cannon, which I'm pretty sure is what we see get destroyed when we first wake up, and then an escape pod fires off of it. Okay, here we go. It's happening, it's happening. Okay. Firstly. Yes. See, look at this. Oh, is it like protection from outer space? Yeah, I wonder, it's like a stasis field for us. So when we're out in space, maybe if we didn't have a suit on, this would save our lives. Not very helpful, but incredibly interesting, if that's the case. Alright, I think we should get back to our ship. And there's supposedly another island, a double island connected by a rock arch. But we have a lot of ship log updates to check out too. Alright, so we talked to Gabbro. He's also experiencing the time loop like we are. But there's more to talk to him about, so I should head back there at some point. He told us about Statue Island. And we can actually track it. Interesting. Found a sign for a statue. That's right, we did find that sign for the statue workshop. Some of my children debated bypassing the statue's workshop door and sneaking inside via an alternate, more dangerous route. We had read that as well. The Nomai finished building the final module for the orbital probe cannon and sent it into orbit around Giant's Deep. I used a Nomai projection pool and saw the interior of a space station in orbit around Giant's Deep. Gabbro sees a bright flash in the sky at the start of every loop, so do we. Something must be happening in orbit around Giant's Deep. It happens so fast that I don't think we can ever get to it, you know? We can pay attention to that pod, though, and where it shoots out. Construction yard. This island is where the Nomai built the orbital probe cannon. For some reason, the Nomai put the orbital probe cannon on indefinite hiatus. The cannon was not asked to fire. According to a Nomai computer, a long-range probe was recently launched from the orbital probe cannon. A long-range probe. That is what we see get shot away? Not an escape pod, a long-range probe. Okay. Interesting. I think what we'll do is we'll take a little break here, and when we come back, we will... we're going to search out this double island connected by an arch where the statue workshop is at and see if we can find the alternate route that the Nomai children had talked about taking in the one thread we read. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you're still having fun with this one. Still a lot to learn, I think. It seems infinite sometimes, but that's very interesting that we can come out and pick something completely random to do and know that we can always check our log and go back to some of those other planets when we do everything we want here. So it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.